Margaret, you don't use, you don't.
Mike, we're going to put you up here because these guys aren't going to be here today, so everybody's kind of front and center, if you don't mind.
year hazy?
It's sort of.
Occasional hazy.
Just was already.
Hey,
A lot of people, they don't get caught. They make it, like, official things. Maybe that's certain.
no, he's not working on cars, he's not allowed to touch you.
This class, well, you're not gonna make this class.
Here, how come you're up there?
My son,
Huh?
it's my son.
Oh, your son's on, okay.
Let me call him, I'll try to get him.
Yeah, I'll plug in. Try to get Lenny on.
I spoke to him.
I did too, I spoke to
He's
him
not
20
the
minutes.
Calling for the power. Don't get me that. Yeah, the cars. Cars. Okay.
Trying to get him tonight at 8 o'clock in the morning, they thought they were. Told me, you have to ask one, I gotta go with that.
Hey, are you guys trying to get Lenny hooked up for the meeting? Okay, you know where all right, talk to Willie, thanks. You know where Lenny was?
Have a quorum.
Have Paul in if he needs to.
So we can.
Or the video is live? So when your mics are live, then you can start using, when you're ready, you make your mics live, sorry.
Okay, let's start now.
Everybody light up your mics, please.
You ready, Mike?
I'm ready.
Okay, so let's call to order the Town of Lloyd regular meeting on February 16th. And we will open with the pledge of allegiance. Mike, you want to lead us through the pledge of allegiance? sir?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Mike. You're welcome. Okay, I think everybody knows the exits are in the back. Regular meeting, we have a couple public hearings to set today. I'm going to kind of group these together. The first three public hearings are all on water district or sewer district extensions. We have the Views Water District, the Stewart's Water and Sewer District Extension, and the Village's Water District Extension. So can I get a motion to open the three water sewer district extensions?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so right now we have the water sewer district extensions open. Is there anybody from the public who wants to speak on any of these extensions? Okay, well, we're gonna leave the public hearing open. So if there are comments that come in, we'll get them to Andy and he can answer. No, we'll take comments that come in. We'll leave these open for now and talk again about the workshop, see if we have what we need. Okay, the next public meeting, we have rewritten and we want to, here's Lenny here, let me. Hi, Lenny. Yeah, I can put you on the phone. I'm gonna leave you on mute until you have to talk though, otherwise you'll backfeed, okay? I'm gonna have you on mute on my phone so that you don't backfeed through, so when you wanna talk, okay, bye. I mean, okay, we'll do that. Okay, so Lenny's on the phone here. I hope you can hear me, Lenny. Okay? Okay, so at this time, what I'd like to do is open the public hearing for local law A of 2022, the adaptive reuse overlay district. So can I get a motion to open a public hearing?
Motion?
Lenny and Mike?
Yep. Yes.
Lenny
second.
open, Mike second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the local law adaptive reuse overlay district public meeting is open. Would anybody like to speak on that? Joan? You have to turn the mic, is the mic on up there?
Did I put the mic
Okay,
on? Yes.
thank you.
Is it on, or do I have to
If it's
push it?
green, it's on, you have to talk close to it,
It's
Joan.
green.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Can you hear through the mask or not?
No, take your mask off. You're far enough. Thank you.
Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
just move the microphone over so it's like kind of right in front of your face, and we'll hear you.
Okay, so my name is Joan Kelly. I'm the town historian, and I would like to speak on the adaptive reuse proposed changes. I'll just take them down in order as they are on the draft. The first thing is, wait a minute, I put my glasses on here. On the legislative findings, it says that the town board finds the amendments to the zoning code are consistent with a comprehensive plan. I want to read a section of the comprehensive plan, and just keep that in mind when we go to the next page.
Okay.
One of the sections of the comprehensive plan, 7.6, talks about strengthening the town's sense of place by identifying, preserving, and commemorating significant historical structures and sites. And 2 bullets under there that are actions. One is to establish a historic preservation committee to advise the planning board on developmental proposals which involve historically significant properties. And the second is to permit a wider use of historical structures and encourage adaptive reuse of underutilized agricultural buildings to maintain the town's agricultural heritage. And if you keep that in mind, then when you go to the next page and look at the statement that says they want to repeal the definition of adaptive reuse as it is in the current code. In the current code, it says adaptive reuse building is an existing building rehabilitated or converted to a new use while preserving and saving some of the unique features of the building that have historic value to the town. So by deleting that section, you're kind of ignoring the historic value. And I think it would be a good idea to put that back in as one of the considerations.
Okay.
Okay? The second thing is, under provisions added, it says, there is a new definition. This definition is the adaptive reuse project. It's a little bit different than the adaptive building.
Right.
And the new definition says the proposed renovation or redevelopment of an existing non-residential building and the property containing such a building for use. I think that definition is too broad. If you think of non-residential buildings, it could be a garage, it could be a church, it could be a shed. So I think the definition has to be beefed up because you're clearly only dealing with certain types of buildings, not just all non-residential buildings.
I think also like the buildings that were identified previously should be included.
Well, that was my next point.
Okay.
What's in the ordinance right now is a list of, I think, 16,
Well, there is no ordinance right now. It was repealed.
that was repealed? Okay,
The whole
so
thing, the whole
from-
law was repealed. There is no law today.
Okay, what was there previously was a list of about 16 addresses.
Right.
And I think if you look at these buildings that were there before and think about what do they have in common, what characteristics make them the kind of building you want for adaptive reuse, that will give a better definition. So we're just dealing with those buildings and not all the non-residential buildings in the water and sewer district. Okay.
There was a reason, by the way, if you want me to say that we didn't do that. And the reason is, within the water sewer district, there are buildings today that we would pick out and identify, as you said. 5 years from now, there might be other buildings that fit that mold too. And I don't want to have to go back and change the law every time I add or
Right,
delete a
right.
building, because it's costly.
Maintaining this list
Right,
of addresses is
So it was easier to
cumbersome.
me to do it this way, at least the thought between myself and the building department was to do it this way. And then, at the beginning of the process, the applicant, if you read through the whole law, the applicant has to come to the town board and apply to be part of the overlay district. So us as a town board have to think about the characteristics, as you said, in the comp plan, and determine whether or not we should grant them approval to be in the overlay district. So that's exactly why we didn't do it, and it made sense as we thought through it. But I cherish your opinion, so we
Okay,
have it written down.
I think more detail will make everything clear, keep extraneous requests out of your workload, and, set expectations to people who
Okay.
have.
No, I appreciate your input.
Because I feel that as the board changes, the attitudes change and a lot of things change. So if we identify it and nail it down from the beginning, we have a better road ahead of us.
Right, if you look at the next paragraph down, it talks about the adaptive reuse of specific types of unused or underutilized buildings. Right there, you've already got a better handle on it, and it would be helpful if there were a list of examples of what are specific types.
Yeah, I think we actually did list some examples later, but it's probably not a big deal to do.
Yeah,
But I won't limit it to just a list of buildings in the law, because then I have to change it. Okay.
right, I can understand that.
Okay.
There's a grammatical problem there. which
Yeah, there may be
we can-
some
we can
grammar
take
to
care of.
fix.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. Okay, did you just get out of order? Excuse me just a minute, I'm blind, Okay. It says here, any adaptive reuse project proposal for additional density as an incentive shall include a proposal for community benefits. I would think that the property owners adjacent to the additional density might need some compensation, rather than saying, we're gonna put a new sidewalk, or we're gonna put money in the fund. If you take a building and now increase the density and so forth, I think you have to think about buffers and that kind of thing, rather than money into treasury to pay for the parks.
We did put a section in here, and the old law that was repealed said no buffering, so we did add buffering in here.
I saw
so-
that, and I think
Okay.
that's a great
Okay.
idea. Then, under structures, on page 4, it says, "The renovated or new building shall be limited to the existing building footprint." Okay, I understand that. And then, item C says, "All other new or expanded structures shall comply with the dimensional requirements of the underlying zoning district." So it sounds to me like either you're in the existing footprint or you're expanding the existing, but you can't have both. Those seem to be in conflict.
Well, one's dimensional standards and one is footprint. They're two different things.
How is the
But the
footprint?
footprint is the layout of the building. Dimensional standards includes height, width, setbacks, et cetera.
But if there's going to be new and expanded structures in addition to the adaptive structure, how can it fit in that existing footprint?
New structures.
See-
Yeah, I'm
see-
missing your point, I'm sorry. But you could, I got written down what you said, but
Okay,
I'm missing
it
the
just-
logic behind it a
It
bit.
seems to conflict
Okay.
to me, okay?
Yep.
And so, in summary, I would like to say that I think you ought to run a couple examples through here of things that you might not want that are now permitted by this law. If you don't tighten the definition, I think you're gonna get a lot of requests for things that you don't necessarily want, all right? The second thing is, I am willing to help anybody who needs help with the historical structure. As an example, I was looking at the building on the corner of Haviland and 9W, the old hardware, where the roof is falling in. And you say, well, as far as architectural elements,
There's none, right?
not a whole lot.
Right.
But in 1948, it was the W.E. Haviland store for farm equipment. And if somebody wanted to adapt that building to a restaurant or whatever, if they knew a little bit about the history, they could put, maybe there's an old tractor or something they can put out, or they can put farm implements, or they can use the history as part of an enhancement to their development. So as the town historian, I would be available to help them with
Okay,
that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joan.
Thank you, Joan.
Anybody else? Mark?
I just want to follow up with what Joan started with the first page.
Okay.
There are two sentences there in legislative findings about the town evaluating the comprehensive plan and the existing zoning to identify the changes and improvements. The second sentence says the town board further considered the cumulative impacts of increased development within town. Has anyone on the town board done that? Is there a memo to that effect? Has there been a
There's no
review?
memo to it, no, and you normally wouldn't have a memo to it. Basically, what we looked at was the fact that we have these eyesore buildings
Right.
that we want to get rid of. And and they were already in place before, so therefore, by reopening them, you're really not impacting the town. There's water capacity, which we know. So by getting rid of these eyesores, and it's really not increased development, it's reusing a building that was used before, that was already part of the infrastructure of the town. So no, we didn't write a memo to ourselves saying that. No, we may be able to change the wording on that, to make it, to say exactly what we did, and I have no problem doing that.
Because what it seems to imply is that once, the building's dormant now, there's nothing, no traffic, nothing.
Yep.
And now there might be activity happening in
Absolutely.
traffic.
And there used to be activity in it.
Right.
There
right.
used to be activity, and, we could do that, or we can go find some other area that doesn't have any and start digging in there and putting more infrastructure in there. That, I think, would be a bigger impact than any impact this would cause.
Okay. So I just wondered, it seemed to indicate that there was some sort of review. I just wanted to check on
Yeah,
that.
the review was, I'll say it, I rewrote the law with the building department.
Right.
And a lot of the input was mine, and I've had some discussions with the other board members, but we didn't sit down and go through step by step and do that,
I
if
follow
that's
you.
your question. Absolutely
Okay,
not.
thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other input on this particular law? We're going to leave the public hearing open again. We haven't had the county input back yet. And I see, Paul, you've joined the call, Paul Van Cott. Was there anything that, you heard brought up so far? I'm sure you're taking notes, that you would like to comment on also? Or did I answer the questions properly?
I
from
do
your
have
perspective?
notes, and I appreciate the comments, they're great. The one comment from the town historian, just to clarify, the building footprint restriction relates to the building itself that we're talking about reusing, and then compliance with the dimensional requirements of the underlying zoning district would apply to all other structures.
Right.
So there's an absolute prohibition
That's a better way to say it.
relative to the building that's being reused. It has to stay within its same footprint, or it can't be part of this. And then any other structure, if you put up an accessory building, a garage or whatever, that would have to meet the dimensional standards for the underlying district.
Okay, it
So
does say
that's
all
all.
other news, so I didn't pick that up.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Paul. Okay, if there's no other comments, we'll leave the public hearing open. So there's still time if people want to send comments in or whatever.
You can just leave it open.
We can just leave it open, right? We don't have to motion on it.
Well, you probably should clarify, you're going to continue at the workshop or the next regular meeting?
We're going to continue it at the workshop.
Okay.
Okay.
The workshop.
Do we need the motion? We don't need the motion. That's all right. Okay. All right. We're going to move forward on the agenda then. We're going to move to reports. We're going to start with the beautification committee. As I said last time, it's myself and Lenny. I'm thinking as the weather gets better, we'll get out and look at spots that we want to start focused on. And we talked about that before. There's a couple things we have done. We've driven around town. We see some spots that, we might ask people to clean up a bit, et cetera. But other than that, we have not done much with that to date. With the building department, again, they got the beginning of the year stuff with all their applications, inspections, and they're trying to set that up for the year, along with handling applications. I'll move on. I might as well finish mine while I'm on here. For the police, we have, John and I actually attended their training session last week over at the fire station. They had the police force had a training session put on by the county, and it was kind of an interactive and I think a very productive meeting. They also did their CPR update. Yeah, re-education of it. So, recertification.
Recertification.
So we sat through that and, I think it was well received. I think the training was well done, put on by the county.
It
So
was.
I think that was good.
Do you want to do EDC?
Yeah, we'll go back and do EDC. I forgot that, yeah.
Okay.
So we met on 2/18, I'm sorry, on 2/8. We spoke about the plans for the updated brochure. They're making a new brochure. They got some new artwork done. They also have some proposed links they want to put onto the website. They're going to talk to yourself and Margaret about. And what the links are is, it's kind of a step-by-step. If you want to open a new business in Highland, here's the steps you have to go through. Some of the available spots in Highland that are available that they're going to get from the realtors. So I think it's some good promotional stuff that they want to do. And that's kind of what they've been working on their last couple of months. And I think that's all of mine. We're going to move to Mike. You want to cover ECC and zoning board?
Okay, on South Street, 180 South Street, the applicant is seeking an area variance, and public hearing was left open on that. And then Pepino Foods, which is on Station Road, which turned out to be a real complicated situation, and I think the board's doing an excellent job in trying to resolve that situation there. And they also are seeking an area variance, and the public hearing is still left open to that. And that's all I have.
Okay, nothing on ECC. We saw them last week.
No, tomorrow night we have a
Oh,
meeting.
okay. Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
Okay, we move forward. John, anything on the fire district? Or I know we're going to talk about the ambulance contract later. Anything else on the fire
Okay.
district just now?
Now, the Board of Fire Commissioners had their meeting last Tuesday, and I was on my way back from out of town, so I wasn't able to attend the meeting. I communicated with the fire chief and the chairman, asking if there were any items or any topics of discussion to be brought up tonight, and there were none. So for the fire district, I don't have anything to add, and the ambulance we'll talk
The
about
resolution,
later. Right, okay.
Thank you, John. Okay, Lenny, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, anything on Highland Landing Park, the rail trail, or water and sewer?
All right, as far as the landing goes, I talked to Jerry. Just as soon as I get back home, we're gonna get the container down there. And I told him if it doesn't work out, then we're gonna buy one. So when I get back, we're gonna start working on cleaning the building out. So that way we
Okay.
So that's the plan on that. The water, sewer, and drainage, unfortunately, I missed the meeting. I was already down here. So, I don't have much on that. Falcon Ridge was supposed to come in, but those guys bailed, so I don't know what happened here.
Yeah, I actually attended that for you, and there was no activity because nobody really showed up for it.
All right, okay,
Okay.
good, thank you.
Sure. Anything on the rail trail? Peter, you have anything today? Okay, nothing on the rail trail? Okay. All right, thank you, Lenny.
All right, no, thank you.
Okay, gonna move on to old business. The only thing I had tonight, and just kind of, we had a discussion last month about the town hall steps. Remember, we said we had to replace them, we were gonna put treads on. Just for observation, here are the treads we're putting on them. And we did get the 3 bids, and they ranged anywhere from $3,400 to this one, to $7,600 for this one. And they're the exact same, so we chose the $3,400 one. So the difference between these 2 treads is $4,000. So moving forward,
And
they
the
should,
color of the top.
and the
Right.
color at the top
The
is.
color, right, the yellow band.
So we should have them in 4 to 5 weeks, and then we can repair all the steps in front, and they should last a good long time. If you see, this is a good material. You look at 'em. What's that?
You're in old business now, or are you still doing?
I'm still in old business. Just fix it. And the second part, and that's all the old business we had.
No, did you want anything on the lighting? Skip lighting.
Oh, I skipped lighting.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
that's all right.
Okay, we'll go back to reports. I skipped lights.
I have not, no, I wouldn't do that.
I have nothing.
I've got nothing.
Go ahead, John.
I've been, quite a few conversations with the folks up in Bridgeview, Chris Bylos in particular. We spent some time up there last Friday. As I mentioned last meeting, we definitely need to do something there to bring that even up to code. Yesterday, I met with Dave Barton, and I've got the site plan of the existing lighting. I've had a representative from GPI actually, he joined us and did a ride around with us last week. And we're kind of zeroed in on the fixtures. There's like 11,000 possible light fixtures out there. So we're hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have the information that we need to ultimately go out to bid with a proposal for doing the upgrades to the existing lighting there. There's another piece,
Lenny, you have to go on mute.
Yes?
Yeah, you have to go on mute, Lenny. We can hear your background.
and then if you can envision going from Hannaford's up to Bridgeview, there are 4 or 5 street lights there that are completely dark. There's been some debate, apparently it's been going on since Hannaford did the renovation, of who owns the lights. Dave Barton is looking into that. Unfortunately didn't get to talk to him today. We believe the developer of Bridgeview owns those lights. And if they do, we will get a letter out to them saying you have to get those turned back on, whatever it takes, because it's totally dark going up that hill. And there's a lot of people from Bridgeview and Golden View that walk down to Hannaford's, and they do it at night. So we're trying to get that whole Bridgeview area and the entranceway up to spec, if you will, and be more activity. By the workshop, we definitely should have more information, more detail.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Do you have any other reports?
No, I think that's it.
So we finished old business. We'll move forward to new business. I know there's been a lot of discussions about a utilities grant, and I know Lenny was working on it with, we have the streetscape project going on in the hamlet, and the question was, could we bury the utilities while we dig up the sidewalks? Which is a good idea. We have met with some of the grant teams and a consultant on that grant, and right now there is a grant grant money available through the hazard mitigation grants through Homeland Security. We have to submit our application by April 1st to get in it, but right now Lloyd is not eligible for it because we never finished our hazard mitigation plan in 2016 when the county did theirs. So we are back trying to get our hazard mitigation plans put in there so that we can become eligible for this grant. And once we become eligible, then we can fill out the grant paperwork. But it is burying utilities in the town. And it's about 0.45 miles of utilities that we'd have to bury. So we kind of understand the detail on it. We just got to get Lloyd eligible to apply for that grant. So that's where we're at on that. I know somebody brought it up. It was a good question last time. Is there something available? And would we delay the streetscape project to do that, which is currently slated to start beginning of next year sometime. So that's where we're at on that, and I thought it would be worthwhile to give everybody an update on that. Okay. No other new business. We'll move to privilege of the floor. Sure. Your name and...
Hello, Jess Puccio, 23 Reservoir Road. I just have an idea that I'd like to present, and the town historian still here? Oh, man. Because my idea was it's a very historical thing. Let me tell you my story. I volunteer as a trolley conductor at the Trolley Museum of New York, and they're always looking for new cars to go up there and oh, sorry.
Yeah, you can take it off if you like.
Cars to go up there and restore and maybe run. And I was wondering, with help of I just thought about this just now, the help of the town board and Miss Joan Kelly, the town historian, do you think it's possible? They may not even exist. I have no clue. I don't know where they are or anything, but do you think it's possible to maybe track down the old Highland Tanaloid trolley cars and maybe sell them for a little money to the Trolley Museum of New York? I mean, they may not even exist. I mean, they may have been scrapped, but you know, it's worth a shot if we can find out if they still exist, because I know I would love to take a ride on one of those old trolley cars in Kingston, even though it's Kingston, not Highland, but you know.
Yeah, no, it's a good thought. I don't know things. Do you know, Mike?
You know who I'm thinking of? Herbie Litz. He might have one on his farm.
We can ask Joan and we can ask Herbie. I don't know if they.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any.
I'm not either.
That would
but-
be very,
I mean, it's a good thought.
So they may not even exist anymore.
I would
but
think if they did exist, we would probably have one already somewhere.
yeah.
That would be awesome if they did still
It would,
exist.
yeah, it would be a great idea, but I don't think they.
Yeah,
We
the
can
only-
ask them.
The only thing I'm aware of recently regarding the trolley is when, at the landing, they unearthed some of the trolley tracks. In fact, they utilized it, I think, in the entranceway or something into the on the landing part.
Wow.
But the car itself, I think we would have known
I think
or
we would
heard,
know
right?
where it was, but we will certainly ask Joan
Yeah, we'll keep
Kelly.
asking, Jeff.
Yeah.
I mean, no idea is a bad idea, Jess. Thanks. Okay, anybody else for
Yeah,
privilege of the floor? We got two people back. Go ahead, Mark, you go first. Gina, you're next. I saw your hand up back there.
I just want to follow up if there's any update on the affordable housing and where that's at.
Well, there is no update because we don't have any developments going on that would require it right now.
Well, I mean, in terms of having a plan and, 'cause
The plan is, to me, is the way it's written in the law. The plan is, if we have a developer come in that's requesting additional density, the law says you should do 10%
Right.
affordable housing above 10. So the way I read the law is they would have to make those apartments to be part of affordable housing. Then they would have to negotiate and pay BREPCO to administer it for them. And then our role in it is making sure they are working to do that. And that's how they would get approval.
has RUPCO agreed to do that? Because that was one of the
BREPCO
sticking
said they would
points.
work with the developers. As long as the developers want to pay them, they will do it. But the town is not going to put an administrative staff in to do it or pay
Right,
for it.
right, I understand that, but I know this, one of the sticking
So I
points.
think when we get the first developer coming in, where we say affordable, you have to follow the affordable housing law, is going to be the first test case for it, Mark.
And what about going back as you and
We're
I
not gonna go
talked?
back, because if you read the law, in order for affordable housing to work, when you built the apartments, you had to make the finishes in those apartments different than the other ones, right? The developer has the ability to do that. I think I showed you that in the law. So if they didn't do that, then it's kind of hard for us to go back and say, now you know, we're gonna revoke your CO until you do that. I just don't think makes a lot of sense.
Good night.
I mean, there were 3 or 4 of them that were promised they would do it.
Yeah, and they didn't, and it wasn't, they weren't held accountable then, so I don't think you can go back and do it.
Just so, for the record, the attorney at Whiteman Osmond Hannah said you do have the power to do that.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's, you know, I don't think it's fair to the developer or to the people currently living in those apartments to do it, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that also includes housing, is
Yes,
homes
it
also,
includes housing,
not
that's
just
correct.
apartments.
Not
Oh,
just
that's true,
apartments,
that's true. Right.
But that's how I think we should handle it going forward.
Yeah, I guess
Right.
it'd be very difficult and borderline unfair to go to a developer or a home, a landlord and say, now these 10% of these apartments have to be lower rent. As to Dave's point, it needs to be done up front when they're building the buildings, because probably the furnishings, it's less to construct a lower housing apartment. You know, the furnishings would be less. They wouldn't be furnished to the same level.
The fixtures could be different.
Right. But to go in after the fact, I don't know how you do that fairly. I just don't know how you would do that.
Okay, thanks.
But I understand the point. Thanks. Thanks, Mark. Gina, you had a comment?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, good evening.
And just for people who don't know, Gina Hansit's your District 10 County Legislator.
Yes, so I just have a couple things. So since last month, I attended and helped to distribute many COVID tests through the county and locally here at the town hall with Wendy and her staff, and also at some of the county distribution sites. And to date, the county has procured and distributed over 50,000 at-home kits, which I think is pretty amazing. Yesterday, I attended the Clean Energy announcement by the county executive. Our county is one of the first counties in the nation to develop our own localized Green New Deal. They introduced 3 new electric buses yesterday. And we got to tour them, and we actually took a ride on them, and it's very exciting. So that's some good news as the county moves forward. I did receive my 2 appointments to 2 committees. I am on the Law Enforcement and Public Safety Committee and the Energy, Environmental, and Sustainability Committee. And I'm also very honored that I was made deputy chair of both of these committees. So in the past month, I've met with our county sheriff and his team. I have a plan set up to tour our emergency services building. I'm looking forward to that. I've been working with the Resource Recovery Agency through the Environmental Committee. So we've been busy. The county's been busy. And if anybody has any issues or comments or suggestions or anything, I'm here.
Thanks.
All right.
That's awesome,
Appreciate it.
Gina. Thank you so much.
And thinking about the Emergency Control Center, 2 weeks ago when we had Winter Storm Landon, I was on a call Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all 3 days as they were cleaning up and getting power restored, working with Central Hudson. It was actually pretty amazing to watch how well they coordinated the resources, both, you know, the ones Central Hudson got in from other places, the different DPW groups, and how the towns shared off.
It is. It's very interesting to see how it all works and how they come together, and it's a great team. It really is.
It really was. It was impressive to watch, so it was, appreciated that.
Yeah, people don't always understand how things work when there's a storm.
Yeah, with a storm, and you know, as part of I know I didn't hit it before, but for those of you who are not aware, we've actually had 4 water main breaks in the last 10 days. And the water department has done an extremely good job closing them up, and we have tried to notify people via Facebook, via the internet, via our website, but, you know, they've been busy. I don't know whether it's because the ground is so moist, because it has something to do with the weather conditions, or it's just old infrastructure that, you know, we have to dig up and at some point replace some of. We can't do it, you can't do the whole town, obviously, but the hats off to that department. And I know they got help from, you know, the highway department for flaggers. And one night, we actually had to borrow a pump from the town of Poughkeepsie. We had to call the supervisor and borrow a pump. So, you know, we thank them for helping us get through that. But there was 4 within 10 days, and they were not easy to handle. The one was, I know the one the guys worked overnight on it because I could see them from my window.
Right, yeah,
So,
they worked like 27 hours straight
yeah,
on that, something like
it was kind of impressive. Unfortunate, but impressive to get through it. Let's put it that way. Okay. Anybody else for privilege of the floor? Okay, we'll move forward to the motions and resolution. On A, the minutes, I don't think they're ready yet, so I think we'll catch them at the next meeting. B is resolution to authorize the payment of vouchers as audited by the audit committee.
Motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's 4-0, Wendy. Okay, C is resolution, whereas Mobile Life Support Services presently provides ambulance services to the town of Lloyd pursuant to an agreement and dated February 1st, 2021. The said agreement is month-to-month agreement, and whereas the parties wish to replace that agreement with an agreement to be effective March 1st, 2022, and expire December 31st, 2022, pursuant to the terms of the ambulance service agreement attached hereto and made part of hereof. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. The agreement attached hereto as Exhibit A, B, and same hereby approved, and the town board hereby enters into the said ambulance agreement commencing on March 1st, 2022, expiring on December 31st, 2022, for the consideration set forth in the agreement. And the supervisor is authorized to sign the agreement on behalf of the town.
So move the motion?
I'll second it, but I'd like to have some discussion. So the contract is already drawn up?
Yes.
Yeah, you want?
Yeah,
I never got a copy. I never,
Isn't it posted on the website?
What's that?
It is on the website.
It's posted with the minutes.
But you should have received it.
okay, I
Yeah.
should have, and also, when,
Are you getting town employee?
that's my next, all right.
But you
I'm-
send
I'm-
it to both, right?
When the agenda changes or gets updated, the last 2 meetings, I didn't get the update.
Well, that one
Okay,
didn't change.
and also on the adaptive reuse, I didn't get the draft on the law. I got the
The
memorandum.
draft on the law you got, because I sent it to you in January. We didn't change it since then.
Okay, all right. All right.
Okay, I would make a point too on the ambulance. I don't know if, did you get a new draft from the ambulance, from William?
I got what you sent me.
Okay, no, because there was just in paragraph 9, that what it is was, there was a little discrepancy, because the monthly subsidy is $26,660, but the amount in paragraph 9, which is the annual amount, is $331,920, but this agreement's only for 10 months, so the subsidy actually is $276,600.
Right, I saw that.
And it's a 10-month agreement.
Right.
Right. And he did agree to that once we
I saw an email today.
explained,
He did
right?
agree, yes.
He responded and agreed to
So
it.
on any late response, which is 9 minutes and 59 seconds, I don't know if it changed or not according to the new contract. Now, if they don't meet that time period, they do get penalized. And am I correct?
There is, yes, there's a penalty. It's not it's an average, it's a rolling,
monthly
what
average.
you
If
call it, a
they-
rolling average or a monthly average?
Monthly average. Every month, if their average response time is over 9:59,
Right.
the penalty kicks in when they're a minute. The average response time is a minute over that, the average response time is a minute over that. So it's at 10:59. It kicks in for $1,000 for every full minute above the average.
Okay, now, who's going to monitor that report?
We have
Should
a
all the board
commitment.
members get a copy, so we're all on
We can
board?
get you a copy,
So we're
yeah.
all responsible.
Right. I will be monitoring it. Margaret will get a copy every month. I will be monitoring it on a regular basis.
And then you can forward it to all of us, John?
So,
And we could, yes.
and
we
the
cer-
town clerk collects those fees.
And the town clerk collects the fees. And again, there's been a lot of discussion, I know, for months about is the service adequate? Just because we've contracted for a 24/7 ambulance and another 12-hour ambulance, that doesn't mean we're limited to that. So for instance, I think it was last Thursday around 2 o'clock, Thursday or Friday at 2 p.m., we had 4 emergencies in Highland, 2 car accidents require an ambulance and 2 medical emergencies require an ambulance. So we had 4 ambulances here. So we're not limited to 2. If we need 4, they will send 4.
Yeah, I understand that.
Right.
My question is, I don't know if I got an answer, and I want to ask it again. All the councilmen will get a monthly?
Yeah, it was answered. I
Oh,
said
okay.
yes.
So I didn't hear. All right, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? And I do want to say it's been going on a long time. I know it started with Lenny last year, working with the ambulance team. John and I met with them in January down at their place, and I think, they've all done a good job trying to finally get it rounded up and into contract form so that we can get to where we are today. So I do appreciate that help. Okay, any other discussion on the ambulance? If not, we can move to vote. All in favor of Resolution C?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I'd like to see the copy of the contract before I vote.
Well, we're voting now. So Lenny, are you an aye or an
Then
nay?
I'll have to abstain then, all right?
Okay. Lenny,
Thank you.
you a yes or no?
Phone code, Dad?
Lenny?
Wait a minute, it's sitting on mute. I said yes.
Oh, okay. You must have been on mute then. Okay, so it's three yeses, 1 abstain. So motion carried. Okay, Resolution D, to create a 4-way stop at the intersection of New Paltz Road and North Eltings Corners Road, per the recommendation of Ulster County Department of Public Works and in agreement with Rich Klotz, Highway Superintendent, effective immediately. Can I get a motion?
I make the motion.
I'll second it.
Mike, John and Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Lenny said aye. Yeah, there he goes. I thought he did, okay.
He actually
So it's
motioned.
4-0. Okay, so that stop sign should get installed now.
Have any comment? I don't know.
Well, the previous before was a comment, but the resolution passed, so the stop signs will go up.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, Resolution E, to make the following budget amendments is listed there. And a lot of this is, moving around to cover the recent breakages, but it's all within the water budget, it's just being moved around. Can I get a resolution for that?
So move.
Second?
Second.
John and Mike.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Tough on the phone. Okay. The last resolution is authorize monthly payments for Mark Schaff, freelance water specialist, to increase from $500 to $750. The increase is budget supported as per Adam Littman, Water Sewer Administrator. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Lenny, second.
Second?
John? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Any other things? As I said, the public hearing's still open for water, sewer, and adaptive reuse. If not, I'll ask for motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Lenny,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned, thank you.
Lenny can make his race now. He's got 10 minutes to get.
Go watch the race, Lenny.
Watch it on Fox News.
They're qualifying, so.
Good luck.
Good luck, Lenny.
Good luck,
Good
Lenny.
luck, Lenny.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very, very much. Bye-bye.
All right, enjoy the weather.
Mike's off.
80 today. I'm gonna try and watch it. It was on TV tonight and tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah?
On FS Fox Sports
Actually,
1.
that card got a
Oh,
lot of
Fox
Fox,
One?
either Fox Sports or Fox Sport 1 that he told me, but they came in last night, they had a test run, and they came in 22nd, which means you get the run and race if you do that tomorrow.
Does it go by number or a name, or?
What's that? Yeah, their number, car number 50. And the name of their team is the Money Team, because it's Floyd Mayweather.